Hi everybody, it's the RetroYuuki once again giving you guys another tutorial for Lunar Magic, and today we're going to be talking about the Overworld editor, pathing, eventing, as well as placing levels and making our new Yoshi's Island. But before we do that, you see that we have a new channel, Lunar Yuki, and on this channel we'll be focusing on Lunar Magic, tutorials, as well as making ROM hacks. I'll be also diving deep into my own ROM hack that I've been making for you guys, the development blog, as well as playing your ROM hacks, and ROM hack live playthroughs, as well as ROM hack reviews. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys subscribe to the new channel Lunar Yuki. I'll still be uploading the tutorials on my main channel, but most of the time the Lunar Yuki channel will be for every episode, tutorial, ROM hack review, my ROM hack review, and all that good stuff. So make sure you guys check out this channel when you have the time. Now let's go on into our main lesson of the day, and which is going to be the Overworld editor. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Make sure you have open your Lunar Magic, and make sure you open up the clean version of Super Mario World. So as you guys can see, I messed up Yoshi's Island, and we're gonna mess it up even more in a moment. But before we do, let's introduce you to said editor, the Overworld editor. And actually, I introduced you to it a little bit ago in episode 1, but it was a brief one. This one, we're gonna go dive deep into the heart of Yoshi's Island. Or I should say the heart of editing a ROM hack. This is where it gets real. This is where it gets real. Like, you gotta have to learn this lesson first before we making ROM hack. So as you guys can see, I messed up Yoshi's Island. I'm going to reload what we did, kind of. So as you guys can see, I messed up Yoshi's Island for a good reason. We're gonna rebuild it. But first, this is the Overworld editor, and to get to here, on your Lunar Magic window, click this castle icon once you open the ROM, of course, and you're gonna see Open Overworld Editor window. On your right side of the screen is the Overworld editor. And today we're gonna learn how to make a new overworld. Now you should see the normal Yoshi's Island, but right now mine is messed up for a good reason, because we're gonna mess it up more. Anyway, as you guys can see, we have events, pathing, and all this good stuff over here. So we have pathing, we have events, we have scenarios, we have Bowser, we have everything on said ROM hack. So what happened? Well, nothing, because that is how Yoshi's Island is. I mean, Super Mario World is. So as you guys can see, we have the whole Super Mario World in its glory right in the front of our very own eyes. But it's time to mess it up, and we're gonna make it a little bit more nicer, kind of. So we want to destroy Yoshi's Island right now. To do so, not really destroy Yoshi's Island, we're going to make it a new one. To do so, I want you guys to take a look at our UI. I would like to introduce you now to the UI at the Overworld editor. And trust me, that is going to be useful for later. We have this button that allows us to reload Overworld and discard any unsaved changes. Please make sure you do not use this just because. Okay? Be very careful when using said button. This actually removes any changes that you originally did. Okay? So make sure you keep this button away from your arsenal unless you absolutely need it. But now I want to go over the other buttons. We have this save button, which is going to be another important button in a moment when we start rebuilding Yoshi's Island. This is undo and this is right and redo. Layer 1 editing mode allows us to put stuff on the board. Layer 1 event editor mode allows us to make events, which is going to be important for pathing in a moment. Layer 2 8x8 editor mode allows us to edit stuff like tiles, and we're going to go over that in a moment. Layer 2 event editor mode allows us to take a look at the events that we made in a moment. We're going to use this to our advantage in a few minutes to talk about pathing and events. We also have the Sprite Editor mode that allows us to add sprites like Lakitu, Boo, Mario, Luigi, and all that good stuff. We have another window called the 8x8 Overworld Tile Selector window. And this is going to be important for when we start making a new Yoshi's Island in a moment. We have the open layer 1 16x16 tile selector window. This allows us to put levels on the board, map objects like Ghost House, the castle, as well as the star or the levels. We're going to be using this to our advantage in a moment. We also have the layer 2 event tile selector, and this has to do with pathing, and we're going to talk about that in a moment as well. So we're going to take a look at that later. We're not going to discuss anything about palettes or other stuff. However, we will use the view layer 1 Mario Path icon, and we're also going to be using these buttons that are grayed out right now because we can't use them yet. I'm going to explain those later. We have the edit boss sequence text dialog. We'll talk about that as we move forward. We have the message box text dialog window, which allows us to edit message boxes in levels. We're also going to be talking about that in a moment. We have the edit level names dialog. Now that one's more straightforward than everything else. We also have and then everything else we're going to touch on later on. Now that I discussed the UI, let's go ahead and talk about making our brand new Yoshi's Island. We're going to destroy Yoshi's Island and we're going to make a new one. So here's how to do that. We're going to destroy the whole island. This screen right here. So Yoshi's Island starts below this one right here. So if you see this, go down on the Overworld editor and you're going to see this side. I already destroyed Yoshi's Island once. I'm going to destroy it again. So click on the layer 1 16x16 editor mode. Hold left click. Let me just make sure that everything is ready to go. Yeah, here we go. Hold left click on everything you see in Yoshi's Island and goodbye. Press delete. And then we're going to go to the 8x8. We're going to remove this too. Pathing 2. I'm going to redo that so that we can see it. And then we're going to delete all this. And make sure that everything else, nothing is in there. That's why I'm making sure. Yeah, for ground tiles, it's layer 2. Editor mode, and there we go. Now it's time to make a new Yoshi's Island. Kind of. Alright, now that we destroyed the Yoshi's Island, let's make a new one. The Yoshis need their home back, so let's give them a home. To do so, let's go ahead and open up the 8x8 tile overworld tile selector. with this blue icon next to the blue Switch Palace. Then we're gonna also open this window right here. That's event layer 2 8x8 overworld. We're gonna go to palette. No, not palette 3, 7. Is it 7? Yeah. We're gonna make a new Yoshi's Island because the Yoshis need their island back. Kind of. So we're gonna start selecting tiles. To select a tile, go to your 8x8 overworld tile selector window. Select a tile like this one, D20. We're going to left click on that tile. On here, right click to place it on the board. So right now I'm going to make a new Yoshi Island. I want to remind the Yoshis that this is our island and they are welcome here. Yeah, we're going to make a new island for the Yoshis right now. That's how we do things around here. Except we're not going to do the whole shebang. We're just going to give them a random island to live on, and that will be our little compromise, if you will, to the Yoshis that live here. We're also going to place grass, of course, because they need grass to live, apparently. And to do so, we're going to do tile number D00, which is right beside our boy here, D20. Now I'm going to make this easier. We're going to left click and drag that piece and right click to paste it so that it's not going to be too hard. So when we start doing the cool stuff, it's easier to start. So I'm going to drag this and paste it here so that we can start like putting stuff on the board here. Okay, now that we place everything, I'm gonna put this over here. I'm going to remove this side. There we go. Now that we place everything, let's go ahead and start placing icons and levels on the board. To do so, click the layer 1 16x16 editor mode and also open up your layer 1 16x16 tile selector window. Click on this blue Switch Palace icon. And we're going to start placing icons on the board. We're going to place 2 levels followed by a fortress so that we can also introduce you to pathing. First, of course, we're going to also include World 1. To do so, left click on the 1 tile, which is number 87, and we're going to place it on the board here anywhere. Right click, and that's World 1. Congratulations. Then we're going to place some levels. Now here's the big part about levels. You may have noticed that there are different copies of said level icon, including the yellow, the red, the big yellow, and the big red. Here's what they mean. The first 4 are going to be open, as in you can see them right away. The next 4 are event tiles only for those of you when revealed after completing a level. The next 4 are also open, but they are underwater. The next 4 after that are only available if you cleared the previous level and they are underwater as well. And of course you have the Switch Palaces and the Ghost House. I have not seen an underwater ghost house for a while. I think they do exist in Super Mario World. I don't remember where it was though. Okay, so let's play some levels. So we're gonna place 2 levels. Let's place this one here and here, and then we're going to place our fortress or castle, whatever you like. I'm gonna place it over here, and then that's it. That's world 1. Now, of course, Super Mario World has 8 worlds or so, but for the sake of today's tutorial, we're just gonna say world 1 complete, and we're done with the game. So now, let's talk about the big boy. The wolf in the room, if you will, is pathing. But I do need to explain how level placing works first, because we're gonna use level placement and then pathing to craft a path into our game. So I want to introduce you first to this, the layer 1 Mario path. And as you guys can see, you may have noticed something. Control minus allows us to zoom out into Super Mario World. And as you can see, we have a lot of green, a lot of red, a lot of yellow. What do these all mean, you may ask? And what these mean is the path. So in Super Mario World, you have path. So for example, let's say that we cleared Road 1. So normally, it will go from here, Road 1, into Donut Plains, which is Road 2. In Road 1, there's a red path. This counts as a transition, so it fades out to black, and then it comes out back with Road 2. In green, you don't fade out when you transition into the level. So green means in, red means fade out. As an example, you may have noticed here in Road 4, so you go from Vanilla Dome, I believe you go from Vanilla Dome to Forest of Illusion. So once you go to Forest of Illusion, you get red. So fade out here, fade to black there, and fade in here. So that's what means red, and we're going to talk about those later. And then you may have noticed Star World as well. Those are very special cases though. And we're going to be talking about those in our episode 4, which is going to be about subworlds, pipes, and transitions. Okay, now keep in mind there are 2 types of pipes. The overworld pipe and the in-level pipe. We're going to talk about the overworld pipe in episode 4, but in episode 3 we're going to talk about in-level pipe and door transitions. So let's go ahead and talk about pathing now. Now that we talked about overall stuff here, let's actually show you guys how this looks like in practice. So we don't have a path yet for our World 1. But we are going to start in Road 1. And we're going to start pathing. Now, here's how this works. I'm going to actually delete events here so that we can see how it looks like. So if we press page up, I'm going to remove the green. So all these are pathed. Okay? I'm going to remove all of them so that we don't get confused. So we're going to we're going to hold, oops, wrong one. There we go. Nope. Yeah, here we go. You want to have your layer 2 event editor mode open. Right click, hold left click, and we're going to remove all the path from Super Mario World so that we can make our own, especially if we're going to make a ROM hack. Now you may have noticed that some of them are not removed. That's because it's part of what you call event 0. So event 0 means that that path is specifically for those who are opened from the start. So anything castle, any castle, any fortress, or any ghost house has already the path open. But you're not going to be able to get there until you beat said level, until you beat the previous level or secret exit, if you will. Now that we moved the path, now let's go ahead and actually path our way. Control plus allows us to zoom in, and we're gonna zoom in on our little boring Yoshi's Island. Okay. Now we're gonna take a look at how the path works. So open up your layer, this one right here. This icon is the layer 2 event tile selector. And because we're using layer 2, we're going to go to our layer 2 event editor mode. I want you to see something. So we're already at the end, as you see there. We're going to go all the way back to 0. 0 is that event where the path is, where the level is already open. Now we're going to go to event 1. To do so, press page up on your keyboard. So let's say that event 1 has been cleared, or event 1 has been opened. So for event 1, we're going to start with our path on the event 2 layer selector here. There we go. So we're going to go to here, and we're going to open here. Let's go ahead and press the straight path, the tile number 2x2e, E2x2. Make sure you are in layer 2 event editor mode, which is this green guy with a cross. And then we're going to right click on the tile before. And we're going to do it again here, and then we're going to do it again, but this time press the circle A2x2, and we're going to also click there. So what did we just do? And actually, yeah, what did we just do? We just made our path to the we just made our path to the second level. Because technically speaking, level 1 is where Mario starts. Now, there's another cool thing. Press page, go outside of the layer editor mode, click on layer 1 16 by 16 editor mode, and we're going to press page up. Excuse me, layer 2. There it is. Go to layer 1 event editor mode actually, and you can see we have on the screen here event 1. There's event 2 and so on. So 1, 2. Actually, let me just put this on 1 because I accidentally put it on 2. So 1 has this. So anything in that orange simplifies something happens in event 1. But this is the cool stuff. Press home on your keyboard and you're going to see a step counter. So right now it's event x1 step 0, and then step 1, 2, and then that's it. So basically you just made an animation of sorts. So 1, 2, 3. There are 3 steps, but it's only said 2 because of the way it's programmed. Then once you press home again, you're going to see OX2. That means we're waiting for event 2, which is cleared, which is going to be done after you clear level 2. So congratulations, you just made a path. But we're not done. We're going to go to Sprite Editor mode, and we're going to move Mario and Luigi to level 1. Now, to make sure we did this right, we're going to press this green button. And then what we're going to do is go to layer 1 16 by 16 tile selector window. And to open that, you need to have this blue switch icon open. And you're going to see this. Select this one, the tile 0 10. And we're going to right click here on layer 1. And you're going to see that. Okay, that's the path. You are required to have this though, because it's going to be where Mario and Luigi move. And then we're going to go for the left, this one, number 4. And we're going to right click on our Yoshi's Island. Now we're not going to make event number 2 yet. We're going to do that after we go ahead and talk about level stuff. Once you have this, you basically have the foundation for your first path team. But there's a catch. Do not forget to save your Overworld editor to ROM. The mistake here is that, oh, you save your level to ROM and it's already done. But remember, the Overworld file and the level editor file is different. So make sure you save your level to your Overworld to ROM as well. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and place levels. So I'm going to remove the green so that we can see our levels here. I'm going to move Mario out of the way and Luigi out of the way just to show that it's easier. We're going to go to layer 1 16 by 16 editor mode. We're going to press this circle. But instead of going to the tile selector, we're going to a button called the modify level tile settings. Now I showed you briefly on how to do this in our episode 1. However, in this case, we're going to dive deep into the menu. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Modify level tile settings allows us to place levels, place events, and modify how the game behaves when we make a level, when we clear a level under certain conditions. For example, level number to use for this tile is set to level 0. Now you may be wondering, what is level 0? Level 0 is actually the bonus game, but there's a catch. If you get there by the 100 point start thing, it's not going to glitch out. You're going back to the overworld. However, if it's used as a tile, then it's going to glitch and you're never getting out of there. Okay? So be very careful. Also, another thing you need to understand, and it is I'm going to talk about more in episode 3 when we're talking about like pipes and doors in levels. If a door or pipe or transition does not have a screen exit, it's also going to count as going to level 0, which is going to glitch you out. So be very careful. We're going to talk about those in episode 3. But for now, we're going to put this to level 1. Base event for when level above is passed refers to what happens when level 1 is cleared. We have an event ready, and that is level 1, event 1. So once we clear level 1, then the path that we made is going to go play. Now you have seen that we have 4 ways to clear a level. Now technically speaking, in Super Mario World, normally there's only 2 ways. The keyhole or the secret key or a secret goalpost. But in Super Mario World ROM hacks, there are chances that you're going to see a ROM hack with more than 3 exits. But it's very rare. But it is possible. Direction to enable when excuse me. Direction to enable when notable exit is used is up. Meaning if you use the normal exit from level 1, the automatic direction that is enabled when you clear a level is up. So you're going to go upstairs to the next level. Now when the secret exit 1 is used, well, we don't have a secret exit because it's not red, but let's just say we did. We're going to go to a different direction, left, right, up, center. And same thing with exit 2, exit 3. We're going to talk about more about secret exits later when we get back into level editing in a moment. But we're not going to do the whole secret exit pathing yet. We're going to wait until later. You may have noticed this area on the right, the initial level setting flag. I would like you to be very careful when using this. The problem with this is that if you enable something before you clear the level, then it's going to override your settings. So if you enable up when the level is not cleared, you're going to be able to break the game as a player. You can just skip every level and go to the end, basically. So what I would say is I would only apply the save prompt. Okay, I would only apply the save prompt after you're done with a level. So that's okay. This is good, especially if you have a Kaizo hack. So you save after you beat a level, especially in Super Mario Kaizo hack. Press OK and your level is set. We're going to move Mario and Luigi back into position here using Sprite Editor mode using Kalakitu. And there you go. Now we're going to save Overworld to ROM again. Okay. Now that we're done a little bit of pathing, let's go ahead and try to test it out, shall we? So, let's go ahead and go back to our Lunar Magic software. Let's go to File, let's go to Emulator. Make sure before you do this step, before we test out stuff, make sure you set up your emulator like this. So look for your emulator, SNES 9X or whatever emulator. Make sure you find the emulator, press OK and press OK. Then go to File, go to Emulator, go to ROM, Run, ROM, and Emulator. And as you guys can see, we have Super Mario World. Hi! Now let me make sure that my controller is actually working here. Here we go. I'm going to remove my data here because if you guys remember, new paths do not work unless you knew the game. Let's see if we did everything correctly. So as you guys can see, I have not changed the message box. We're gonna change it in a moment. I'm gonna show you how to do that in a moment. So as you guys can see, we have our boring Yoshi's Island. How boring is it? That's how boring it is. So that's the level ender. Now let's see if we did it right. So as you guys can see, we actually have it. We have the path right, and we have our save prompt. And of course, my controller likes to be mad at me. So that's why it's not moving for right now. But yes. Yeah, my controller just said, nope, no more. So as you guys can see, we have the path. Now, remember we have not placed a level here. I want to show you what happens. So as you guys can see, we have a glitched out bonus game. You're never getting out of here. Give me that. So as you guys can see, we're never getting out of here because it's level 0. Okay, so now that we talked about pathing and all that cool stuff, let's just add a level there just to complete the cycle. I'm just gonna add a random level on the Overworld editor. Let's go with level 2. Let me see what level 2 is. And then don't forget to put our event number 1, 2. Excuse me. So event 2, back to our little thing, level layer 2. Don't forget layer 2. We're gonna put the one to the left. The one going left, I think, is this one, number 26. Yeah, make sure the path is right, that's why. Yeah, that's wrong. No, that's not what we want. Layer 2. Yeah, I wonder why it's doing that. Okay, layer 2, we want this. This tile right around here. Tile number... There's a lot of tiles to use on Super Mario World. I gotta tell ya. I actually had it right here. Let me just make sure the tile is the one I'm looking for. It always likes to be... Okay, what is it selecting? There it is. Let me go back. Yeah, you need your layer 2 editor mode plus this. There it is. That's the tile I'm looking for. And then for the castle, this is put a circle. And it is for event number... What have been this? 3. There we go. This would be 3, and then I'm going to place a random level that is not 0. Level 2, event 3, save prompt, press OK. And then we're going to run again. We're going to run it again. Okay. So as you start building more levels, testing the game is going to get more. It's a be event 3 if I'm right. I wonder what is level 2. Let me see what's level 2. Oh, level 2 is vanilla secret something. I think it's this level, but it's the full thing. So we're gonna actually play a full level of Mario World. A real level. Like from the original game. It's Vanilla Secret 3. It's the one with the dolphins. No, nothing changed about this level, by the way, guys. I'm just showing you guys this level again so that we can check out if our path is right. I could have modified this level if I wanted to. So we're gonna go ahead and play a full level of Super Mario World here. Okay, let's see if our path is right now. The reason why we're doing this is pathing. No, no, we did not do that one right. Nope. Hold on. Unless I've messed up an event, but you know how to do pathing, so make sure you guys do that. Now that we talked about pathing and making levels, let's transition now into the message box. So how do message boxes work? Well, the Overworld editor has a little surprise for you. But before we do that, let's go back to our level 1. And let's go ahead and go to our Sprite Editor, Sprite Editing mode. We're going to add some sprites. We're going to look for the message box. Now be very careful with this guy, because there's a difference. The way this works is based on the X coordinate of the box. X goes from left to right, but in this case we're going to go left to right, and there are only 2 messages allowed per level. So if you place, as you guys can see, there's a 1. This means message 1 will be selected. But if we move it a little bit to the right, you're going to notice it's going to change to number 2. This means message 2 of level 1 will be played or will be shown. Moving it again, it's going to go back to 1 and then 2 and so on and so forth. We're going to place it here and we're going to display message 1. So in the Overworld editor, press this button, the message dialog, and you're going to see this. There are 2 messages, there's a few messages already. These are made from the game. We're going to talk about how to change this in a moment. Actually, let's talk about how to change it right now. So the first 2 messages are from the beginning of the game and when you rescue Yoshi. The first time. Now 01011 is a message box for level 1 message 1. So we're going to say in here in this box, we're just going to say, hi there, this is Mario World ROM hack making dev. Hi, I'm new here. Whatever you want to say. Press OK. And then what's going to happen is save level to ROM. First of all, save level to ROM and save Overworld to ROM just in case you have not already. What we're going to do is we're going to go back. Actually, before we do, go back to message box editor. We're going to go to 0001 and we're going to change this message to welcome to my first ROM hack. Hi there. I am new here. That's it. Press OK. So what happens there? What happens is we're going to go ahead and run the ROM again. Emulator, run ROM on emulator. We're going to show you 2 messages. The first one should be our new one. If we start a new game. And as you guys can see, our 0001 box is welcome to my first ROM hack. Hi there, I'm new here. So that's how you do the editor of the messages. We're gonna go to level 1. Message 1, it says, "Hi there, this is Mario World ROM hack, making dev. Hi, I'm new here." So that's how you do message boxes and all that good stuff. So, and then you clear level 1. Like nothing ever happened. Now, of course, you want to make messages that are going to help the player. But that's how you do it. Alright, so that's how you do messages and all that good stuff. Now that we talked about messages and all that good stuff, I would like to give you a preview of our next lesson. Our next episode is going to dive deep into levels, and we're going to talk about transitional pipes. So to give you a little hint on the preview of the next level, on the next tutorial, let's go ahead and put down a pipe. I'm going to close the editor, the overworld. I'm going to give you a preview of the next thing. We're going to add objects. Now you may have noticed there are pipes, but there's a difference between one pipe and the other pipe. The first type is the vertical pipe with N on top. That does nothing. However, with exit enabled is the difference. This puppy is what we're going to talk about next episode. This talks about exits, screen exits, vertical exits, and all that good stuff. We're going to talk about what happens when you do not place an exit, and we're going to talk about how to place an exit. So as you guys can see, that's what we're going to be focusing on in episode 3. We're going to talk about screen exits, we're going to talk about doors, and we're going to talk about pipes. Now, pipes and doors will act the same when we're talking about screen exits enabled. Okay? So there are two types. Be very careful when using the one with exit enabled. You will need a screen exit. And we're going to define screen exits in our next episode. So make sure you guys subscribe to both channels, the RetroYuuki channel and the Lunar Yuuki channel, for more tutorials like this. And if you guys want more like individualized videos for each portion, I'll be also editing those into play in that channel. But for now, until our next episode, that is RetroYuuki and Lunar Yuuki saying, happy ROM hack making, and have fun with your ROM hack.